If you're over 50, we're tackling a topic today that is honestly just incredibly empowering. I was absolutely fascinated to discover exactly how we can rebuild leg strength and firm up sagging thighs, all without putting any stress on our joints. We're actually going to take the humble, everyday chair and turn it into the ultimate fitness tool. Let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat. Are traditional squats hurting your knees? Because if you're nodding right now, you are definitely not alone. As we age, our everyday movement patterns change and our joints can definitely start to protest. Heavy squats, deep lunges, those high-impact lower body moves, they can become incredibly uncomfortable and, frankly, a bit risky. And you know, when your form breaks down because of knee discomfort or a stiff hip, the exercise completely loses its effectiveness anyway because it pulls focus away from the exact muscles we're actually trying to target. But here is the incredible news. You can actually firm up sagging thighs using nothing but a chair. It's honestly a much smarter way to train. A chair-based routine completely removes the risk of your form collapsing, and it takes the load entirely off your lower back and knees. Instead, it shifts all that workload directly and cleanly right into your leg muscles. We're talking your quads, hamstrings, and inner thighs. This targeted activation is exactly what gives you that lifting and firming effect, and you'll notice it much faster than you might expect. So here is our daily blueprint. We're going to cover the chair exercise revolution, warming up your muscles, the core chair routine, fueling with lean protein, and finally, your cool down and recovery.
Let's jump into Section 1, the chair exercise revolution.
Section 2, warming up your muscles. This is all about prepping your body before we even sit down.
Now, you absolutely do not need some heavy, exhausting cardio session here. Just a brisk walk around your living room, maybe some wide arm circles or light step touches side to side will do the trick perfectly. It turns out these simple, low-impact movements are the ideal way to safely elevate your heart rate and warm up the fluid in your joints so everything glides smoothly when we start the real work.
Section 3, the core chair routine. Let's start targeting those thighs. Before we do a single rep, I need you to remember this key takeaway. Slow control forces the muscles to generate power without relying on momentum. When you bounce or swing your legs around, momentum is doing all the work, not your muscles. Moving slowly and deliberately is literally the secret sauce to avoiding injury while maximizing muscle tension. And that tension, that is exactly what creates the firm definition we're looking for. Keep this in mind for every single rep we do.
Okay, first up, we've got sit-to-stand squeezes. You're going to sit right at the edge of your chair, grab a small pillow or maybe a rolled-up towel, and pop it right between your knees. Gently squeeze that pillow as you stand up tall, really driving through your heels, and then lower yourself back down with extreme slow control. Why does this matter? Well, that pillow squeeze forces your adductors, those inner thigh muscles that so often weaken after 50, to light up and work incredibly hard alongside your quads and glutes. It creates a beautiful, lifted look right from your hip down to your knee. Aim for about 10 to 15 reps here.
Next up, seated leg extensions. You're going to sit nice and tall at the front of your chair, maybe gripping the sides just lightly for stability. Extend one leg straight out in front of you until the thigh tightens fully. Now hold it right there for 2 to 3 seconds and then slowly lower it back down. This move brilliantly isolates the quadriceps on the front of your legs, and it does it without putting any loaded stress on the kneecap. That 2 to 3 second hold at the top is absolutely crucial. It forces those muscle fibers to fire much harder, which boosts your endurance and visible firmness. Try for 12 to 15 reps per leg.
For our third move, we're actually going to stand up and step behind the chair for chair-assisted side leg lifts. Holding the back of the chair lightly for support, shift your weight over to one leg and lift the opposite leg straight out to the side. Then lower it slowly. Using the chair is vital here because it completely stops you from wobbling or tipping over. By taking the balance struggle out of the equation, you can direct 100% of your focus into firmly targeting the outer thighs and glutes. That restores the hip stability that keeps your everyday stride powerful. Let's go for 12 to 15 reps per leg on this one. Finally, we're rounding out the core routine with seated hamstring pulls. Sit tall with your feet flat slightly out in front of you and press your heels firmly into the floor. Lean back just a tiny bit and then try to pull your heels backward toward the chair without actually lifting them off the floor. Just hold that tension, then release. Oh, you will feel this one instantly. Digging your heels down builds this incredible deep tension right across the back of the thighs, perfectly sculpting the hamstrings and the lower glutes. Try for 10 to 15 slow reps.
Moving right along to Section 4, fueling with lean protein.
So, to actually see that firm muscle definition you're working so hard for, we need to adjust our body composition. It's pretty straightforward. We really want to limit ultra-processed foods, added sugars, and trans fats. Instead, we have to prioritize whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. You know, prioritizing whole foods doesn't just keep you fuller for longer, it naturally boosts your metabolism and encourages your body to burn overall fat rather than just storing it.
And protein is essentially the star of the show when it comes to recovery. Great sources to stock up on include chicken, tofu, cottage cheese, legumes, and nuts. What you really want to take away from this is that eating a diet high in lean protein actually increases the thermogenic effect of food. That means your body is literally burning more calories simply to digest protein than it does to digest fats or carbs. Plus, protein is exactly what your inner and outer thighs need to rebuild tighter and stronger after all those seated extensions and squeezes.
Now, the absolutely crucial point here is understanding a caloric deficit. This simply means consuming fewer calories than your body burns on a daily basis. I know it's a super common misconception that we can just spot reduce fat from our thighs, but our bodies just do not work that way. However, by keeping up a steady, healthy caloric deficit, you promote total body fat loss. And as that overall layer of fat decreases, those firm, toned thigh muscles you've been building with your chair routine are finally going to be revealed.
And finally, Section 5, Cool Down and Recovery. Let's talk about the golden rule, 7 to 9. That is the CDC's recommended hours of sleep you should be aiming for every single night. Sleep is your body's prime repair time. Without enough of it, your body really struggles to regulate crucial hunger hormones. Think about it. When you're sleep deprived, ghrelin, the hormone that makes you hungry, spikes up, and leptin, the hormone that makes you feel full, drops down. Prioritizing 7 to 9 hours keeps these hormones balanced, which makes making healthy eating choices so much easier the next day.
Alongside sleep, managing your stress is just absolutely vital for this whole plan to work. High levels of chronic stress flood your body with cortisol, and that is a hormone notorious for encouraging fat accumulation. So incorporating simple stress management techniques, like maybe a quick daily meditation, deep breathing, box breathing, or just some light stretching at the end of the day can work absolute wonders. Keeping your stress low really aids your overall muscle recovery and prevents your body from holding onto that stubborn weight.
Well, we've covered the mechanics, the exercises, the fuel, and the recovery. So I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative question. What is one habit you can change today to start building stronger, firmer legs for tomorrow? Seriously, whether it's adding just 5 sit-to-stand squeezes during a commercial break, swapping out a sugary snack for a handful of nuts, or even just going to bed 30 minutes earlier, the power to reshape your body is entirely in your hands. Start small, stay consistent, and those firmer thighs will absolutely...